Count it all joy when trials come your way. It's for a reason. It's for development. It's for you to be the person that God has called you to be. The real you is not insignificant. The real you is actually what people around you, your family, your co-workers, your classmates, they need you. If you were chosen, then there is a purpose. Ultimately, it will all make sense one way or another. And as you go through it, not your way, but as you go through it God's way, then you will see the puzzles start to come together. My childhood growing up, from the outside, you would think that it was perfect. But the inside, I fought every day. From the beginning, the enemy was trying to take my identity. He was trying to take who I was. And as I grew up as a child, there were things that happened in my life that continued to cover my identity and who I was. And a lot of times I would ask God, like, why is this happening to me? Even as a child. At 4 months old, I was kidnapped. And thank God I was returned to my parents. But at that time, 4 months old, of course, it really didn't affect me because I didn't know what was going on. But when I learned about it and other things kept occurring in my life as a child, kidnapping was like in that pile of stuff. Like, why am I the chosen one? Why is this going on? These were a lot of the things that were going on in my mind that were unanswered questions. And I didn't feel comfortable asking them because I thought they weren't important enough to ask. I thought it was something that I had to deal with as a child because no one else would understand what I'm experiencing. So I didn't like the image. I didn't know my identity. And even when people talked about me, I didn't know how to defend myself because I didn't accept my true identity. So as time went on, of course, if I didn't like, who I was, the skin I was in, then I wanted to be a boy. I wanted to be something that I wasn't. As a young child, I fell in love with God. And because I knew that there was safety, I felt safe in him because it was somebody that I could talk to. Even though he really didn't respond back at that time, it made me feel good that I could find that place and I could talk to him and feel accepted no matter what, feel loved no matter what. So a lot of times, even in my time where I was just confused, I would go to that happy place. It was a place that was sacred to me. Sacred so much so, as a little kid, once you find something, you don't want to tell anybody else. Finders, keepers, losers, weepers. So in my little mind, I'm like, yay, I love this place. And so I didn't tell anybody about it. As I was getting older, in middle school and things like that, I still had that happy place. When nobody was looking, I would sometimes lock myself in my room and just spend time with God. It was freeing for me in that place privately, because in the public, I was trying to display something that I thought that other people would accept, what they were looking for in me. But privately, I was able to be in that place and even in all my craziness, know that God still loves me, know that he accepts me. And I thank God for every trial, every why that I had, every question that I asked him, because that drew me closer. That's the greatest gift ever, that God was that thoughtful to put I see it as like, how you draw little animals, birds. That's the word. Like you draw little birds, you put like bird seed or nuts or whatever to get them closer to you. That's how I see, it with God. He put these little things in my life so that I can be closer to him because he loves me that much. It humbles me to know that God wants to use me, but at the same time, there's a freedom in knowing that God has placed me here for a purpose, and in order to walk in that purpose, I have to be connected with people that need my purpose. Nobody can be you better than you can be. And people are waiting on you to be who you are. Not what mama said you were, not what daddy said you were, not what people said you were, not what your job says you are. None of that. Just who God created you to be. That moment when he breathed life into you, when he put his breath into you, he wants you to exhibit those qualities. So I hope that people are able to, walk away in knowing that they're just that important. They're just that important, that they need to be who they are because the world needs them.